What's up, everyone? Trent here.
Along with Julia.
Welcome back to the channel. We're here with the 4th episode of Andor.
Yes.
After the awesome last episode where Cassian and Luthen escaped Ferrix, defeating the Pre-Moral Authority in a clever way, just decimating them. It was awesome. And it felt like that was the wrap-up of the prologue, and now we're getting the real story beginning.
Yes, we're getting a deep dive into what's going to happen.
Yeah, and the consequences to come with it.
Yes.
So let's check it out.
Let's go.
Take hold of something.
Blood in his
Behind
hands.
us. Set for Aldhani.
Calculating for Aldhani.
Coming. Do as I say.
Calculations complete.
You want head wound too?
Yeah.
What's powering this? I've been in a Fandor Hallcraft. I've flown them. Never seen one do that.
Well, it's been a day of surprises for all of us. Seems to me you have two choices. Either I drop you somewhere and you start running, or you come with me and help with something important. And of course, you could try and kill me and take the ship.
Try. Emphasis on try.
I don't need you to steal, seeing how well you're doing on your own. I'm offering you everything you want, all at once.
What is everything I want? Since you know so much about me.
To put a real stick in the eye of the Empire. And get paid for it.
Mm.
Yeah.
I fought in Mimban when I was 16. 2 years of it. Straight out of prison into the mud. I'm one of 50 that survived.
Jeez. Well, there's some more backstory to his life. He's been in prison and in a war.
Ourselves.
But you're right about one thing. The Empire had you fighting each other. Which should make you hate them all the more, and you do. I said I know you. I know the outside. I know what people tell me when I ask. The rest I imagine. I imagine your hate. I imagine that no matter what you tell me or tell yourself, you'll ultimately die fighting these bastards.
Well, he's very much right about that.
Wouldn't you rather give it all at once to something real than carve off useless pieces till there's nothing left?
That line is so much more powerful knowing what happens in Rogue One.
I came for you.
And down comes his shield.
What's the offer?
5 days. Big stakes, big danger. Prep team, good plan. You survive and deliver, I'll give you 200,000.
What would we be stealing?
The quarterly payroll for an entire Imperial sector.
That won't be easy. So looking to expose their greed, most likely. If they're going for the payroll. Coruscant!
It just reminds me of the Lego city they built.
Well, that definitely looks like a security bureau building.
What is this item from Marvalis 6?
Positive developments, sir. The dimensions of the conflict have diminished sufficiently that mining has resumed on the occupied land.
Storage issues with the displaced?
Ongoing.
As is your unfinished memorandum of recommendations regarding the problem.
My staff is awaiting an assessment from Marvalis 6's ministerial director.
Because they've done such an excellent job so far. What do we do in this building? Why are we here? Anyone?
We're here to further security objectives by collecting intelligence, providing useful analysis, and conducting effective covert action, sir.
Very good, Dedra. That is verbatim from the ISB mission statement and wrong. Security is an illusion. You want security? Call the Navy. Launch a regiment of troopers. We are healthcare providers. We treat sickness. We identify symptoms. We locate germs, whether they arise from within or have come from the outside. The longer we wait to identify a disorder, the harder it is to treat the disease. Do you understand my meaning, Legret? Don't trouble yourself writing the memorandum. I'll reassign it. Blizzard, Morlana's sector. This incident on Ferrix.
Corporate security, sir. They're still in charge out there.
Just
They
goes to
tried
show that the
server
mission
warrants and
statements
ran into more trouble
just-
than they'd anticipated.
Trouble meaning
Is that?
what?
Several
It's a,
property damage,
almost like a
interruption of
front.
service. A stolen Imperial Starpath unit was recovered at the scene.
Those responsible.
Unknown, sir.
Elaborate on these added protection requests for traffic to the Abrian sector.
Proactive measures, sir. There's an
Why is
increase
she
in
looking so
construction shipments
concerned?
going to Scarif, sir.
Think of a name for yourself. Clem. For the next 5 days, you'll be Clem.
lack of music is
Who's that?
adding a lot
You'll
of
be working
tension.
for her.
Mm.
I thought you were in charge.
I never said that. She's gonna hate this idea to start. She's gonna argue with me. Take this.
It's not a kyber crystal, is it?
What is it?
It's a down payment. It's a Quati signet. Blue Kyber, Skystone. The ancient world celebrates the uprising against the Rakatan invaders. Don't take less than 50,000 for it. Just know it will always be worth more to me. I want it back when this is over. If I live, I want it back.
So it's a blue kyber. What's his history then?
Obviously something's wrong.
No. Actually, I think things are coming together.
Oh. Oh, he's thinking about it.
Something I can help you with?
He's got steady nerves and he's not afraid to kill.
I can't believe you're doing
You
this.
can pilot.
We go in 3 days.
He increases your chances of success dramatically.
Now, like this. 5 months in, just plug in some new person. It'll tear the team apart.
Well, that's not much of a team, is it?
Ooh.
Mm.
What would I tell the others?
You'll tell them it was always a part of the plan.
Are you giving me a choice here?
Yeah. You take him or call it off.
Oh,
I was planning.
he's
to
an
shoot you out.
excellent manipulator.
Your odds have improved.
And
since we
negotiator.
started the meeting. You plug him in as a replacement for anyone who goes down along the way. In the next 3 days, if for any reason, look at me! You wanted to lead. This is what it comes to. You step up, you lead, you cancel the mission. I need to know you understand.
And if he's the problem?
Well, that's the advantage of renting him. He's
I was
disposable.
going to say, can always get rid of him.
This has to be a win, Val.
For someone who's not the leader, or claims to be not the leader,
He's got a lot of
he's
power.
got a lot of power and a lot of pull. It's also interesting how Luthen's playing multiple sides and multiple angles, because he obviously wants Andor to stick around, but
relinquish any and all comlinks,
he's being treated like a mercenary
Scandogs.
because he's being
You
paid.
will not return to your living quarters. You will leave here and be escorted with haste to the transfer center, where you'll be
Very
issued with
naughty
any personal
boys.
Items. You will holo certify confirmation of the official ISB after action report detailing your involvement and culpability in said Ferrex incident.
Questions?
No.
And he'd have no idea either.
No, you will not waste further Imperial time reading the report.
But I've had nothing to do with this.
Well, exactly. It took the combined ingredients of idiocy, ineptitude, and total disengagement for this farce to have reached the full apex of incredulous disaster. My files are filled with corporate security fiascos, but this takes the prize.
And you, Deputy Inspector
You.
Khan.
Proud, are we? Take solace in this. You will not be replaced. You've rung the final bell on corporate independence. As of this morning, the Milana system is under permanent Imperial...
Oh, no!
no.
Congratulations on that.
Wow.
You reap what you sow. That little twinge of the eye and the...
He told me you were the boss, and you wouldn't like my being here.
He was right.
That's about all I know.
He is something we will never discuss. When we get to camp, we're going to tell them this was my idea and we've been planning it all the while. We never mention him. If you change that in any way, you and I are going to have a big problem.
He told me about the payroll, not the garrison.
I don't know who you're talking about.
You're taking on an Imperial armory?
Are you not joining us?
Us? How many of us are there?
Now we are 7.
The Magnificent Seven.
7 against the garrison. Hey, hold on.
Get down.
Get down.
Get down.
Get down.
Get down, Tuckins!
Never get tired of the ties.
It says 5 dead. 1 local and 4 Primor security employees. They've misspelt Ferrex.
Where's my starpath? Hang on. Varnisi. Unauthorized Imperial equipment. Ferrex 0430. Ensign retrieved a sealed Imperial NS9 Starpath unit from the site. That is our box from Steerguard.
So that was still intact.
Right, that gives us jurisdiction. I want you to go to Blevins' office, tell them we need everything they've got on Ferrex.
It might mean more if you went.
I don't want to spark his interest.
Yep.
Fair.
Yep, very fair, very smart. Ooh.
I was gonna say, is he gonna change?
So he's still a senator. Getting into character.
I want the full Ferrex report.
It's my sector.
An Imperial Starpath unit was stolen from the Steerguard Naval Yard and found at the scene. That gives
Has
me
jurisdiction and
access.
interest.
You've been here, what, just over a year? You might want to steady the ladder before you start climbing.
I'm not looking for career advice.
You fall here, you fall alone.
Are you denying my request?
For the second time today.
Fine. I'll take it to Major Partakas.
Don't look down.
I love the inner turmoil within the Empire itself. Just everyone's after power, everyone's after their own
means to
an end. But ultimately, there's still the total control by Palpatine.
Oh. Sleeping on
Always good when a watcher's asleep.
Saw Guerrera. Fall asleep on watch, they're gonna put your head on a pike for a laugh.
Sorry.
Yep. Saul's very extreme at this point.
Who is it? That's what I was gonna ask you.
And they be paranoid as well.
Look at the goose.
Aw. I suppose that's why it's tell them it was always part of the plan, so it puts their nerves at ease. Uncertainty.
But if he was right, if the group can't handle change, it's not much of a group.
Yes.
This is Clem. I haven't mentioned him before now because I wasn't sure we could get him here on time.
Good
With a
cover.
stroke of luck. He's been able to fight his way free.
Vel.
The posts on the corral are down again. Now, unless you two want to be chasing animals all day, I'd get out there now. Okay? Let's get to it. We'll work Clem into the program at drill.
Don't allow for question.
Cyclops? Oh, his world is just shattered.
Yep.
And you either do desperate or stupid things.
Don't make us feel sorry for him. He's done terrible things.
I think we're about to get a decent backstory for him, though, because we're going down.
Yeah. Literally.
Because I love the
change
especially
of
with
light
the
to
Empire,
dark.
the change of light, the change of how clean it is, how updated it looks.
Well, that's one of the things, is the lower you go, the more impoverished. Mother.
Slap.
Oh! Oh.
What are you staring at? He comes highly recommended.
So you don't know?
I know that we need him. That's all I'll say. Anything else is a violation of security.
No, he's got brass. You can feel it. And we can use a hand, but this late in the game.
As opposed to
You
when?
trust him with our lives?
That's my call to make.
He's committed. I'm feeling that. I want to.
He's got a vibe.
Vel.
I trust him. Okay? All right?
It's a lot of trust to have from
Yep.
someone else's word who's only just met the guy.
But the vibes are good.
Yeah, the vibes are good.
Senator Mon Mothma's here.
Hey, Mon Mothma's here.
New driver.
Oh, there she is.
Anyone we know?
Never seen him.
Chandlerland.
Yeah.
One would think.
Oh, look at the artifacts.
Senator, what a pleasure to see you.
You as well,
Oh,
Luke.
it's
I'm
beautiful.
sorry to be so late. It's always right when you're leaving, everyone remembers all the things they meant to bother you with.
Free your mind, Senator. This is a place where time stands still. It's hard being surrounded with this much history and not be humbled by the insignificance of our daily anxiety.
How true, and how I need to hear that.
You know, Claire.
Of course.
Oh, Mando
I
armor in
refer
the
to
back.
gallery as Coruscant's unofficial temple of patience. So, a gift for your husband.
Yes, it's his day of days. It's a Chandlerland custom.
Put aside a few things. If I recall, he has an interest in military artifacts.
Yes.
So let's start with the oldest one. It's a Udapawan monk cudgel.
Kalikiri in the
You
back.
see the ceremonial variety in many places, but this is the real thing. It's a treasure for the true aficionado.
May I show you something?
Oh, don't bother. I couldn't afford anything here.
Please. There's no harm in looking. We just got in some terribly interesting coins.
Yeah?
You can pick a coin and stamp collector.
Get him out of the room so they can
Trying to
have.
expand parents' taste beyond fighting implements.
I have something very special that just came in. Come with me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Distract him, keep him busy.
And a serpent from the overworld sharing the same mouth. If you can't deliver, I need
What a change.
think that. But I need to start planning if you're no longer coming through for us.
The money's there. It's just getting very dangerous to move it around. They're watching me now.
They're watching everyone.
This is different. They're everywhere. There's a new spy every day at the Senate. I visit the bank. They're all new faces.
You got a new driver.
I feel under siege. I found someone I think can help me.
Someone who? To bring into the circle? No.
I know what I'm asking.
No. We're vulnerable enough. We need funding, not more people to worry about.
Don't lecture me on vulnerability. No one's more at risk than I am. You think I haven't thought this through? I'd be the first one to fall.
Yeah. She's in the inner workings of it.
Why don't you take this on loan?
May I?
Husband doesn't love it. I'll be glad to take it back.
But that's an interesting way of looking at it. It's you've got a new driver, you've new people at the bank. It's those subtle changes.
Yeah, new
that
faces
make-
every day.
Yeah.
And they'd constantly be looking over their shoulder and seeing any sort of change as suspicious.
We need another hand, and you know it.
I should have been consulted.
On that we agree.
Yeah.
He's our contact at the garrison.
Wounded, on top of it.
On top of what?
On top of being someone I've never met who suddenly got my neck in their hands.
I know the feeling.
Yeah.
Are we done?
Who is he?
He's Clem. He's here. That's all that matters.
Look, we're wasting daylight. Let's get on with it. Good Namica hand.
Also wasting time bickering. I get the frustration and I get the uncertainty, but he's there, you got to work with it.
What's all this?
Dinner for the governor.
What governor?
The governor of Hannah. My regimental mate, that governor.
That's tonight.
It's on your calendar. I added it a month ago after we discussed it. You don't remember?
I remember you wearing me down. Bars, Danga, Sly Moore from the Vizier's private chamber?
Is that a problem?
You can't be serious. These people hate me. They spend every day trying to undo anything I've touched.
Well, perhaps tomorrow they'll think twice.
Not right now, please. Go. You shouldn't have invited them without making sure I was aware.
Well, it's a bit late to cancel. But at your pleasure.
Well played, Perrin. And no, I'm not being serious. Don't seat them near me.
Oh, I've taken care of that. You're at the boring end of the table. These people are fun.
Oh, are they? They're fun. Oh, we should find some Gorman guests for tonight and see how amused they are. Your fun friends just cut off their shipping lanes yesterday. Do you know how many will starve? Perhaps we can laugh about it over the third course.
Perhaps you should have a rest.
If you make me pay attention, I will, and you won't be hurt.
I was just wondering
Don't do this again.
what their relationship dynamic was going to be.
There's rumor you bought me a present.
It's going back.
Must everything be boring and sad?
Must you be a dick?
Garrison, observation tower, sentry defenses, all to protect this runway opening here.
I'll do it. It's fragile, that piece. The rain gets into the
The runway descends underground to the flight deck of a single Max 7 Rono freighter.
Val said you could pilot.
Fly a Rono?
A box freighter? It's not really flying. But yeah.
This room, behind the flight
We're
deck,
being
that's a
technical.
vault. We're taking crates of payroll from that room, loading the freighter, and escaping out of the runway tunnel.
Obviously, it's not to scale.
Escaping? In a Rona?
Yeah.
Those were TIE
Yeah, they're going to
fighters.
catch up big time.
How far is the airbase?
From the garrison.
50 clicks, you said.
52.
Fine, 52. They'll be on you in a minute. You'll be lucky to make the horizon. It's a suicide run.
Exactly.
That's why they only keep a 40-man regiment in the garrison.
Because they know no one's stupid enough to try it.
No one but us.
Playing onto the Empire's arrogance and cockiness, yeah.
Once every 3 years, for as long as anyone can remember, the Aldhanis gather in this valley for a celestial event they call Mak'ani Bredani. Imagine 50 meteor showers all at once, but like a curtain being pulled across the sky, until the window to the galaxy forms over the horizon.
Once every 3 years.
To the thousandth of a second, and it's not really a meteor shower.
It's a recurrent band of crystallized noctilucent microdensities, billions of crystals. Very heavy, but small and unstable. As the planet passes through the belt, they swarm the atmosphere, heat up, and explode. From the ground, it's a thing of beauty. In the sky, it's chaos.
I was going to say, yeah.
We've calculated an escape trajectory that gets us out just before the eye closes.
They won't know where we came from, and if we can beat the clock, we'll be gone before they even know what happened.
It's very...
So much that can go wrong.
Yeah, it's very... has to go according to plan.
Speak.
Opposite sides of the room. Love it.
Data from the incident on Ferrix.
The Starpath unit that was recovered at the scene has been traced to a theft at an airbase under my jurisdiction, sir.
She's overreaching to increase the size of her portfolio. She should spend more time on the security at her bases and less in her career.
Lieutenant Mira.
The stolen item has great value, sir, particularly to the rebels. Tracing its theft might expose activity in my sector. Sir, it is my feeling that this is part of an ongoing effort to steal proprietary Imperial equipment in anticipation of an organized rebellion. I have 3 previous case files on my desk that begin to suggest a pattern.
Your feeling?
She's the smart one.
I'm seeing signs of coordinated activity over a number of sectors.
What activity?
Similar items of interest, repeated methods, gut instinct.
You came to us from enforcement.
Yes, sir.
Here, we act on vetted and verified information. Alert me when this materializes into something more definite. Until then, confine future activities to your sectors. Thank you, Lieutenant.
Oh, that smug little smirk.
There's a high bar for your performance, Lieutenant. Unfair, perhaps, but senseless to ignore and potentially the foundation of a uniquely superior career. You're supposed to be more competent and tucked away. That's why you're here. That's why we're bringing in officers like you. On a positive note, I was impressed with your detention numbers from Sev Tok, far above the quota. I may be sending more of that sort of work your way.
Thank you, sir.
We're done.
Wasn't it berating?
No, it was like a fall in line and do what you're here for.
We brought you here for a reason.
We know you're excellent. We want more excellent officers like you.
I thought she was eating a rock. was that great?
Very porous.
Sedimentary.
That's a detailed map of the garrison. That's an Aldhani phrase book.
Ooh, that's handy.
Yeah.
Can I eat my food?
You'll eat, you'll let Cinta check the bandage, and you'll have learned all that by morning. I'll take the first watch.
Jeez, no pressure. Now the seriousness is starting to... He's starting to realise just what he's in for. Oh, that was an interesting way to end. Very interesting way to end.
Very.
I like it. We had the first 3 episodes where it was very much self-contained, dealing with the setup for where we're going now, and now it feels like we're setting up for what's going to be the main conflict. We've got new players, well, familiar players in play with Mon Mothma, but we've now got a new groundwork we're working on. We've got Cassian established as entering a small sector of the rebellion. But the thing that really is really interesting to me is just all the interactions between the various characters.
Yes.
There's so much mistrust.
They're so multi-leveled.
Yeah.
So there's mistrust, there's
Concern.
there's worry, there's dealings, there's
There's power struggles.
There's so much.
Yeah, and that's on both sides, both the Imperial and within that small camp of the rebellion.
camp.
You've got the hierarchy between Luthen, and then you have the internal of the camp. You've got the one that's very free and trusting, and it's just a bit of glue. I'll do it. It comes unstuck. I feel his vibe. And
Well, no, I still think there is so like multi-leveled within that as well, because there is you're literally bringing in someone 3 days before our job. Why weren't we consulted on this? But
Yeah.
we have no choice but to accept this as well, or we don't do this.
yeah.
And that plan has to go to the T.
Nothing can go
or it's
wrong at all.
Absolutely.
Nothing can go wrong.
Nothing can go wrong.
There's no room for variables.
There is no room for variables. There is no room for error, and that is not a good plan.
I mean, it's a good plan. It's a good plan on paper,
but
Whew. Yeah, and I'm actually glad they didn't rush through it, because I didn't know how long that episode was going to go for, or how long had gone, because I was that engrossed in it. And I'm sure there was parts of the reaction where we're just sitting and staring, because it was just that.
So it was just so engrossing.
Yeah, didn't want to say anything
And
or do too much.
That is what I'm really loving about this series, is that it literally is pulling you into it. You are intrigued and wanting to find out more about everything and the characters and the multi-level dimensionness of the espionage. It's amazing.
My favorite part was the Primor Authority standing in the line like little schoolboys being berated by their teacher.
Yep.
Raise your hand. Really? But now we have another layer to Cyril, former Deputy Inspector Khan.
He's lost everything.
Yeah. I thought he was just going to be... Well, actually, I don't know what is going to happen with him. But I thought he was just going to be incorporated into the Empire, just in a officer role. But no, he's going down the levels back to his mum. We didn't see much of him this episode at all.
But we saw enough to show that you're now back home with your mum. Your mum opened the door and slapped you in your face.
So
Not hugged you.
Well,
but,
does this mean that she doesn't agree with his career path?
Or is she ashamed of what has happened, that he's literally lost his job and now he's back home?
Yeah. Which there's nothing wrong with being back home. Nothing wrong with that. I've done that. It's great. Saves a lot of money. But it's, especially in today's economy, but it's something that it was such a quick part of the episode, but just seeing him go down that elevator from the light into the shadowy dullness of where.
And that wasn't too far down either.
No.
So there's got to be further levels down as well.
But you've seen in previous animated series, the further they go down on Coruscant, the further they go down, it turns into like the underworld. The parts that aren't monitored regularly because they're not close to the surface. The deeper it goes down, the more corruption goes on, and that's where all the
more noticeable the corruption.
Yeah, the seedy underworld and all the dank bars and dodgy dealings go on. All the bounty hunters go down there. It's very interesting to see, and yeah, just the subtle change. But then we got another new character. I didn't catch her name properly, but the female officer, who is obviously wanting to prove something as well. And that gives the way that they've introduced her is the person who had the Imperial box taken.
Yes.
So that's a good way to bring her in and to want to retrieve that. She's the only one so far that has noticed that there's a rebellion going on.
Yeah,
because they're coordinated attacks. But the others are so engrossed with their own sector, their own career, that they don't want to listen to someone who's gut feeling. They're so engrossed in reports, numbers, statistics.
But also the one thing that was interesting of it, it's like they're coordinated attacks. They're very similar, and it's just do you have proof?
Yeah.
And that ugh. I'm someone like that as well, is I notice patterns. And it's hard to sometimes prove those patterns and prove that gut instinct before shit literally hits the fan and you're like, I warned you. But I told you this was going to happen.
In his own weird way, I think the way that Commander was talking to her was a way to motivate her to get that information.
Yeah. Because you need to do it a specific way in order for us to pay attention.
The language he was using, it was a, you're in here, you work within our means, so obviously do it. But he said that she's going to have a special career. That to me was encouraging her in a different way, not a beration, as you said. It's a do things the way we want you to, and you'll get rewarded.
Yeah.
We have brought you in here for a reason.
That's what I noticed as well. It was definitely I know you work differently. That is why we've brought you in, but you need to work differently within the means that we have set out for you.
Yeah, and I mean, the whole means that they've set out are obviously bendable because their mission statement is different to what they are. We have our mission statement, but we are actually we're medical professionals. We look for disease, we look for bacteria and growth, and cut them out, and which is all a very, very interesting metaphor for any sort of civil unrest and anything that goes against the Empire's values.
Yes.
But a very interesting episode, a lot of political intrigue. Cassian himself feels like a fish out of water at this point. I was going
to say, the acting in this is absolutely spectacular because you're really feeling what each actor is portraying, even if you're just introduced to the character at that moment.
Yep.
Cassian definitely is that fish out of water, has no idea what is literally happening, has been given the plan and has gone, shit.
Yeah. But the way he changed, the way Diego Luna acted throughout the entire episode, there was the initial, I want to flee. Then there was, he had a little bit of air of cockiness to him as well because he's being paid. But the way he slowly changed to everything and saw what he's actually fighting for, it's like, okay, these people don't have much. They don't have a plan. He thought it was going to be completely different to how it's turned out.
Yeah.
But then on the other side, you had Stellan Skarsgård's Luthen, who's the playful, witty banter. He's always got something to come back to. But then there was that one point where he got super angry.
Yeah.
And he just completely changed. And then the unexpected change again of him being the antiquity dealer.
Yes.
And he's getting into character on the ship. Like, that's just fantastic. Seeing Stellan get to go that level. And then you got Mon Mothma, who, again, we haven't seen too much of her in the main canon outside of her being part of the rebellion and in the Senate chambers, and now having her personal life come into it and see the disharmony within her relationship with her husband, bringing in the people that
shoot her down every time in the Senate. Oh, I'd be mad.
And his response to it, well, I'll put you down the other end of the non-fun. Yeah, the boring end of the table.
End.
Yeah, the boring end. Yeah. with his little ponytail. Nothing against ponytails.
I've made a dinner. I put it in your calendar.
Yeah, I put it in your calendar a month ago. But again, it also shows how thinly stretched Mon Mothma is to let those sorts of details, because she would have prepared for that surely if she hadn't been stretched
so
thin.
Yeah.
And she's got the uncertainty of the people's faces are changing. The Empire's constantly making sure new spies are coming in. It's getting more dangerous to do things. So she's got that weighing down on her. And seeing the complete opposite with her frivolous, happy-go-lucky husband who's wanting to throw an elegant dinner party. It's, that's going to be a very interesting dynamic to explore. And that's one of the things that's going to be interesting to explore throughout the entire series. We've already seen it when he was on Ferrix with Marva and Bix and Tim. But now we're seeing it in the grand scheme of the overarching story that we're getting. We're seeing the espionage, the political intrigue. It's the dynamics between the characters that are really driving this series. And I like that it's focusing on that. It's a slow burn. It's not action heavy. It makes it more engaging and interesting.
Definitely.
Because we know where this story ends.
We know where it ends. Everybody dies.
we know where it ends in Rogue One, and seeing how he comes to be that character and his role in the rebellion is going to be the interesting thing. So even though we know he's going to live, what's going to happen to get to that point.
Yes.
At
the end where he does character developing moments that form the character that we know in
Rogue One, and we know he has the endpoint. Luthen had the foreshadowing line. Don't you want to die giving it all? We know he does. So we know he's not going to die in this series, but it's going to be the character build up to get to that point. That's the interesting adventure, and I like that a lot. But no, another good episode. It looks visually stunning. The set pieces.
Stunning. The set's amazing. The costuming down to the crispness of the Empire to the detail in the Rebellion. Getting that level of weathering and getting that complete dirtiness look is just impressive to those extremely crisp lines. It's magnificent.
And I know you're meant to hate the Empire, but God, their designs.
Oh, it's good uniforms.
They're great. They are great and iconic designs, and just seeing the subtle differences on each officer's clothing, it's just it's awesome. It's such a good world that has been created, and just seeing it expanded, I love it. Anyway, tell us your thoughts on episode 4 of Andor in the comments. I'm Trent.
I'm Julia.
And as always,
keep it nerdy.